What's going on, everyone? It's Brian from Superboard Sunday, and I know it's been a while since I've been live streaming with Christian, with anybody. So we're back. The table's kind of clean. Don't pay attention to it. As usual, when I stream during the midday, the lighting's kind of in and out. So we're gonna try to get to the bottom of this real quick. We're gonna get right to the unboxing. I have since acquired, come in possession of two new inserts by, you know it, Printables by Caren. One of them was gifted to me, which I'm super psyched to show you. It's awesome. Which was actually designed thanks to Christian, Frankie, and Jim. They asked Caren to commission this, and she made this, and this is going to be available on her shop. This is also available on her shop. We'll save the special one for last. I'm going to hop into the Tekhenu one first, and we're going to get into it. So, slide that over here. I've recently got into this game. I had some gift cards to our local board game store, and I'm like, you know what? I need another T game in my life because Tekhenu, or sorry, Teotihuacan is a favorite of mine. It's still great. I played it a couple weeks ago, and it still holds up as one of my favorite games of all time. So I tried out Tekhenu. I really like it too. I think I like Teo right now better, but this one is close second. So we're going to get to this unboxing. Caren does do a insert for Tekhenu. It's available on her shop. I'll put a link in the description of the YouTube video that I'm going to re-upload after this live stream. And so Tekhenu Obelisk of the Sun, great game. Like a lot of the T games, or at least most of them that I've seen, a lot of stuff in this box. Tons of plastic bags. Not a good way to sort it, but as usual, Caren's got you covered here. So, flipping this guy over here, and as you can't really tell because it's a different camera, but everything is sitting flush. It's awesome. I printed some player guides. Those still go there. They go there just fine. Rulebook's here. It's a great rulebook. Board sits right on top, but underneath is where all the glory, where it all happens. Boom. So everyone gets their own little player trays. I show kind of two examples of how it's laid out here, but this is the way it should be played or laid out here. Is everyone has their own little thing. So they have spots for their own pillars. Their statues go right here. Their buildings. This building is actually cut in half. And a funny story about this building is it came cut in half. I submitted a inquiry to Board and Dice, and the package literally came today. But the package was ripped and there was no building inside, so I'm still missing half of this building. Regardless, it still holds it fine. Your little player cubes go there. There's a spot, I can't really without spilling it. There's a space for the mini meeple and a space for the big meeple right there. It's pretty awesome. And then on each side, you have your score tokens. You can put them there. I put a couple in here just because when I was first unboxing, I thought they went there. Then halfway through, I'm like, oh, right. There's slots here for these scoring tokens, so you can also do that. But they come with the full, the handholds that you may have seen in other inserts that she does, but easy to pick up out of the box. All good to go. I'm going to slide a couple of these out because there's more stuff underneath, of course. And it holds sleeve cards, I will say that. It says that on the website. And here is that, a tray of the cards. So you can put that out on the table. Good to go. I'll put that over here for now. We also have each of the resources kind of has their own spot here. So scribe tokens here, gold, and then the faith tokens go right here. Nice little thing you can put out in the middle of the table. There's a spot for the obelisk. It's a dedicated spot that you can just plop right there. The dice bag goes here. I put a couple extra cards here as well. The sleeves that I had are the thicker game-genic ones, and I think like 2 or 3 cards off of each stack wouldn't fit on this super nicely. So without risking bending them, I put them in here, and there's plenty of room. There's room for for any expansion, I'm sure too. Like when it comes out, they usually have a couple extra chits and bits, so it'll go there. Then what's cool is these resource tokens here. Got your bread and your papyrus, but also on the side is our slots for the 5s, so you can just pop those out. Right there for the granite and the limestone. I'm going to remove this obelisk and take these boards out. because they lay on top of the rest of the stuff. So on top of this, you have the solo stuff, the markers for the scoring and the other, the mat phase, as well as the tiles here for the buildings and stuff for the more solo stuff, as well as the variation you can play with flipping these, putting these out randomly, these god tokens, and you can put those out randomly during the game or use the ones that come on the board. It's up to you. So that actually all goes back nicely, and it's just great. It's makes the setup super easy. I recently, right after I put it in this, I then set out to play a solo game. Easy peasy. Put it right out there, good to go, no problem. And then just having the resources just kind of like there, ready to go. It's awesome. So those are going to go here. Obelisk is cool. I'm not going to hold it, but I'm still kind of uneasy about playing with this because, especially in a solo game, you're doing a lot of looking around it because this is supposed to go straight up in the middle of the board. And while it is like that, it's blocking some information when you try to move the dice around. But regardless, it's definitely a table piece. It's nice. So let's put this stuff back together. Gonna put the cards back on top here. Like I said, everything sits nice and flush. These slide back in here. And she also sells them with the board game clips. I believe I've showed them off before. She does board game clips that helps boards that are kind of in pieces or don't really stay flat. They help them stay flat. As an option, you can pick up these board game clips, and they're just clips to help hold the board together. This is all one board, but when it's kind of laid out, it might have a little lift to it. These will help kind of keep it down and straight. So it's all right there, and there's nothing more satisfying than being like, okay, we're setting up the game. Here are your pieces, and that's all you need. And if you're comfortable with the game, you could play straight out of this, which I do, or I have in my one solo play with this insert. Just because you have it, you don't really need to put it out on the thing. As long as you know how to play the game, really well, then you don't need to take the stuff from this, put it on your player board. You can kind of just play with it and then keep track of it that way. But like I said, everything goes back on just dandy. The cover goes on, no problem. Now, I had a little. I'll take this out of the frame. I had a special email come in from Caren. She's like, "Listen, your buddies over at the podcast, they commissioned something for you. I'm working on it, and I'll have it to you when it's ready." Had no idea what it was. Christian said that it's when I got this that they had such a hard time trying to figure out which games I didn't have an insert for from Caren, that they wound up on this, which is perfect because my wife and I love this game, and I just didn't have an insert. I actually removed the insert from this because I have most of the expansions. I'm missing one, but this came on my doorstep yesterday, and what a surprise! It's in her store now too. It's the insert for Sagrada and all the expansions. Let's check it out. It is very, very cool. All the manuals right on top here, and boom, Sagrada. So it's a lot going on here. So there's a bunch of things you can do with this insert that it's kind of up to you to decide how you want to organize it. I put the tokens here, like the little beads for the tools. I put them there. I also put in the dice bag. I put just a setup for 2 players. So when I'm ready to go, if I'm just playing 2 player, I have this bag. I'm good to go here, and then the rest of the dice I just kept in a plastic bag here. There's multiple ways you can put the game back in the insert, but this is how I decided was best for me, just because I'm more likely to play a 2-player than with a bunch of people. So while all these dice can go in here, I just kind of keep it separate. We'll get with this thing first. So the whole thing comes out because it's a whole table display pretty much. It has this this storage, like I said, I put these beads there. You could put the dice there if you want to, instead of putting it in a bag, up to you. But then it has a hold for all of these. All the mats for all up to the 6-player expansion go there. And underneath are spaces for all the wheels. And then under that is the kind of the scoreboard, the round tracker. But the coolest part, are you out of your mind? Look at this. Designed for Brian by Caren. That's the coolest thing. And I doubt this will be on your copy if you get this, but having that there is so awesome. So I appreciate that, my fellow co-host and Caren, of course. But having that is just such a cool piece. So once you get all those the players out there, you put these out. Little die rolled out of there. It has a dice tray, and I put this in here because sure, this dice tray is cool. Gamecasters, what's going on? Live in the chat. It comes with its own dice tray. And you're like, okay, you can use this whenever you want. It's a cool, huge, honking piece that they just gave you this in the base game, right? So you could roll dice in this, neat, cool. We don't really use this in the base game because it's just like roll the dice on the table. But this clips into this. So it's tough to show on a top-down camera. But it has a little slot right there to clip it in. Actually, I have a die right here. Boom. So you can just, it's so awesome. And you can also use the dice tower just regularly without this and just, you know, use it as a dice tower. It's so awesome. So that's one of the coolest parts of this is it's huge. So that's going to go there. Like I said, I store this in here and it just fits in there. So you know that they're connected pieces and it fits in there fine. And then they have the tool cards. It all comes out here. Got the tool cards here. Got the public and private objectives as well as the windows. And there's definitely room for the promos. I know there's tons of promos out there. Tons of promos on like BGG and stuff. And I know some of the expansions come with windows that you can just put here. But regardless, boom, all right there, tool cards. So this base, I don't like the base anyway. So I will probably play this base. I would probably play without it. And I might just even like open this up. So when I put it on this, it would just roll out of it and would just kind of stay in this order. It's a nice way to balance this. But I don't think I would use it with this because when I'm playing with a lot of people or when I'm playing, you know, more than two, I just roll the dice on the table. So this is nice. I would most likely play without this, but because I kept it, I'm like, I'll just put it in here. But you can just definitely roll dice the way you would. But maybe I would use this to kind of keep them together, keep the dice like in the same line. But you can use this however you want, which is cool. But I never really like this because even like it's tough to see from far away. You know, it's tough to see what dice are in here. But it is a cool thing to have that, but I might take this part out just to make sure the dice just roll this way and kind of has that Sagrada look to it. So that's probably how I would handle it. And then you see there's an empty space, and if you're a completionist like me, you're already freaking out. Like, what should go here? This is one of the expansions, Life or Passion, I forget which one. I got one of the expansions here. And what it does is it holds all the special dice for that expansion. This particular expansion comes with some of these things. I've yet to play with this. It's been a while. And then it comes with the cards for that specific expansion. So that's cool. And it's like, if you're playing with the expansion, pull this out, boom, good to go. And the other expansion that I don't have would go here, so I have to fill it. I can't just have this sitting here empty. So I got to get that expansion from my local game store. I know they have it, so that's the next stop on my when I get the hell outside. So that all goes back here. Easy peasy. Putting this thing in here. I have an extra red die, which I'm not sure if it goes in the 2-player setup or the full, so I'm going to put it in the 2-player setup, and I'm going to put it right here to remind myself that's there. So that's going to go here. I just love this. I mean, come on. Designed for Brian? That's me. Appreciate Christian, Frankie, and Jim are... Even though they don't let me win at board games, they let me win by having cool stuff like this. So I think that's my consolation prize. As long as I keep losing at games to them, they're gonna give me sweet stuff like this. So I'm gonna put this right here. Again, in this dice bag, I keep 2-player only, so ready to go there. You could put all the dice there if you wanted to. And I kind of just tuck this in. I know I could crumple it up and it could lay flat either way, but I kind of just put it inside the dice tower here. no harm done, and it's not gonna add any box lift, which is key. I might end up putting the dice here because it might just look cooler than having these glass beads there. But that's it, and then everything goes on top. Whatever you have printed for the game, skadoosh. And those are the latest and greatest that I've gotten from Printables by Caren. Check her Etsy store out. They're great people. They have awesome inserts, and they just make playing the game look nicer, function better, set up and take down easier. So check them out. Let them know we sent you over at Superboard Sunday, and I gotta play Tekhenu again. Now that it's on my table, I gotta play it again. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Check out the Etsy store, and of course check out our podcast at superboardsunday.com. Thanks again, and cheers.